Hey folks, Chef Bill here, and I know you were looking forward to a cooking demo in my kitchen over at the school, but this darn COVID thing's reared up its head again, and I just was not equipped to do it via Zoom. So I'm at my restaurant right now, and I just thought I'd make a quick cooking video with you, and I really think it's a good dish, and I think you'll enjoy it. So, went to the farmer's market this morning, and this is how I like to cook. What's available right now? And as I'm strolling through the market, I'm finding these sweet peppers, fresh herbs. Of course, we've got watermelon, and so I thought I'd make my watermelon salsa for you today because for me, the watermelon salsa has a lot of use. It's not just for tortilla chips. Especially this time of year, we're all trying to eat a little bit lower calorie, maybe a little bit healthier. And one of the easiest ways to do that is just to take the carb portion of your dinner out of the equation. And so what we're gonna make today is a great appetizer with chips. It is a fantastic topping on grilled chicken or grilled fish, maybe even a pork chop. It's got a lot of versatility, and I think once you see me make it, you can start thinking how you might change it around for the way you like things. So let's get started, and we're gonna try and shoot this video, no editing, no cut and piecing together, just to show you how fast you can in fact throw this together. Okay, so our ingredients today are green onions, cilantro, peppers of your choice. If you like spicy, you go get the habaneros or the crazy hot peppers. I personally don't care for spicy food, so I got a little bit of jalapeno, and I'll be working in some sweet baby peppers. We're gonna want some fresh mint, cucumber, red onion, cilantro, watermelon, and if you've got fresh limes, go for it. This is really good quality lime juice that we buy here, so I'm gonna use that. Okay, so let me get everything moved here, and I'm gonna get going. Kind of take you through my process and how I do things. So I like to have a nice large cutting board, and the bowl that it's going in, have it near you, have it nearby. Now, if you ever see me work, I like to use a large chef's knife, and it's not for showing off. You can get a lot more work done with a bigger knife. So make sure it's sharp, and let's get started. So the watermelon can be a little tricky to work with because obviously it wants to roll all over the place. So let's just get it on the board, get you the biggest pointy knife that you have in your drawer, and let's go right in the middle, spin it around, right in the middle. Excellent. Now, we do not need this whole watermelon, but what we have created is a flat side that is now safe to work with. From here, I'd like to see you slice that watermelon, maybe 1.5 to 2 inches thick. And again, you can make as much or as little as this as you would like. Once you have it sliced though, now we can take our blade, and you're gonna wanna have a trash can nearby, because you're gonna have lots of scrap. Okay. As you can see, we're getting through this watermelon pretty quick. And now let's put that back up. And I want to slice this, maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick. Keep it all together. 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick. Lay it down. Let's do that again. Maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick, trying to keep it all together. See how I keep my fingers curled? That will make, you should not cut yourself if you keep your fingers curled up like me. See how I'm holding that chef's knife? I've got total control over that blade. All right, just like that, we've got all of our watermelon diced up. Let's bring our bowl to there. And with this big knife, we can move the product to the bowl quickly. Okay, now's where you get to go in whatever direction you want. If you don't like onions, leave them out. When I made this, I didn't originally use onion in it, but I thought it needed it. So we're gonna put just a little bit of red onion. So what you saw me do there is I just want a portion of the onion. The unused portion, I'm gonna leave the skin on. It keeps better that way. I'll saran wrap this, I'll put it in the fridge, and it'll keep. Now I'm just gonna make a little slit. I'm not cutting all the way through. And now I can peel that back, and I can get that first layer off, and I'm ready to go. Now let's do it right. fingers curled, point of the knife, and let's make some down cuts. Not cutting all the way through, about 3/4 of the way through. Let's spin it around. Let's bring our knife in a few times. Always know where your fingers are. Now, down and through. And we can quickly get through this onion and get the piece really small dice. That's what we want to see here. Really small dice. And just like that, I got my onion component. I want to clean my board. Boom. Just like that. I've cleaned the board. Let's move on to the next thing. We like some cucumber in there. It adds a different crunch. It adds a different flavor component. And here's how I like to do it. I like to clip off the ends. And I'm gonna peel that guy. You can go in both directions with the veggie peeler. Some people are not aware of that. Okay, great. Gotten rid of the skin. Now, I want you to split that down the middle. And with a spoon, follow me over here, Kyle. You take that spoon and you can quickly dig out all the pulp. That's what we want to do. We want to get rid of the pulp. Now, I want you to take that knife and I want you to cut this cucumber into strips. Let's keep it all together. And let's go back through it. And you're trying to end up with a piece of cucumber that's about the same size as the watermelon pieces. Okay, getting through that pretty quick. Okay, bring our bowl into the game. So let's take a look at what we got in here, Kyle. You can already start to see, and that's what we want. When you're cooking, you need flavor, obviously. You need texture, you need colors, and that's what makes your food fun and interesting and exciting for those eating it. Okay, let's get some of these green onions. Now everything's been washed already, so I'm gonna skip that. Not using the white portion, and so what I don't wanna see you do is get in here with your knife and just start mashing, because that's what it'll look like. It'll look like you mashed it, and that's not what we want. So I want you to keep them together, and I want your blade to be on a 45-degree angle. And I want you to use most of the length of that blade, so you are slicing clean slices through that green onion. So they're not bruised, they're not smushed. So really exaggerate that cutting motion so you get nice clean pieces. And I'm just slowly working my fingers back. That controls the thickness. And just like that, take a look. We just have yet another texture, another color going into the salsa. Okay, great. Quick cleanup. Oh, what else do we got? Now we need a little bit of heat. So, if you really like it hot, maybe you go out and buy some habaneros. Those are the small orange peppers that you find commonly at the grocery store, and they are about 10 times hotter than a jalapeno. If you're not into a lot of heat, but you definitely want some nip, okay. You can leave the seeds in there because the seeds are where most of the heat is. So if you want a little more, leave the seeds in. Chef Bill is not a fan of hot spicy food at all. I know that seems silly. Chefs are supposed to like that sort of thing. It's just not my thing. Okay, so let's cut these, because even if you like hot spicy food, you probably don't want a great big chunk of this when you eat your salsa. Okay. Keep those little strips all together. And let's go back through it and turn those into a nice small dice. If you'd like to take this salsa in another direction, we saw some beautiful peaches at the farmer's market this morning, and those would have been a fantastic addition to this. Okay, so let's get another element in there. Now, I love cilantro. You know, to me, cilantro just screams summer, but too much cilantro will give your product, it almost tastes like there's soap in it. And so you've got to be careful. And I tell my students this every day. You can always add more, but you can't take it back out. So be careful with cilantro. And it is completely unnecessary to sit here and pluck every little thing. You can use the stems. I do it all the time. So all I want you to do is gather this bundle of cilantro up into a tight wad. And so let's start running our knife through it until we see what we think we need. And based on what's in that bowl, that's probably enough. Now, look, it's all one piece. It will stay longer in your refrigerator like this, so don't cut more than you need. If you're not happy with that, maybe you think the pieces are too big, put your knife on the board, hold your fingers on the end of your knife, and you can go back through that one more time, scrape it together. Maybe we go one more time. Now we've got that cilantro really nice and small. Boom, into the bowl. So we've kind of got all of our crunchy elements in the bowl. We've got our heat in the bowl. And so we need to perk up the flavor. And the way we perk up flavor is with either salt or with an acid or both. And we all know salt makes watermelon taste a little better. So, okay, so now we're getting down to the part where we've got, well, we'll say we've got the fundamentals in the bowl. But now, no matter, you know, what they tell you on those other shows, just because we've started with fantastic ingredients doesn't mean it doesn't need a little help. The way we perk up the flavor of food is with salt and acid. And so don't be afraid to put a little pinch of salt in there. And your lime juice is your acid. And we don't want so much lime juice in there that I can actually taste it. It's just gonna perk up the other flavors that are in the bowl. So if you were using fresh limes, I would encourage you not to use the zest, because the zest of a lime is extremely strong and it could overpower this. It's just, we want everything to come together. So that lime juice, that addition of the lime juice, and decide for yourself. If you decide, hey, those chunks are too big for what I'm doing, then cut them smaller. Quite often I use this as a topping on grilled chicken, probably more often than I use it, say, dipped in tortilla chips. It probably will keep in your refrigerator for 2 to 4 days. So don't feel like you're having people over that you have to make this on the spot. It actually tastes better if you make it a few hours in advance and give everything a chance to come together. But essentially that's what we're looking for. There's probably two parts watermelon to 1 part cucumber, and we've got the onion element in there. And again, don't be afraid to experiment. Maybe you use peach, maybe you throw some mango pieces in there. There is a lot of options here. A dash of honey would also be a fantastic addition. I believe I have that in the recipe. The recipe will be attached with this video, so you can print it off. And folks, remember this, because I tell it to all my students. The recipe is a guide to get you close, but you're the one that's responsible for making it taste good. So don't be afraid to experiment with this and take it in any direction you see fit. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you go home and make it. Good luck.